Oh, hi! Welcome to Books with Bill, brought to you by booksbythebushel.com. Make sure that you watch the vlog to its end today because I've got something special to tell you about at the end. Well, the month of May is here and we've got some big holidays coming up this month. We've got Mother's Day, Memorial Day, and Teacher Appreciation Day. We'll talk about Memorial Day a little bit later on another show. But today we're going to focus on mothers, teachers, and mothers who are teachers. Well, I'm very happy to have with me today our CEO at booksbythebushel.com, Paula Darnell, and joining us also is Paula's mother, Mrs. Phyllis Grom. Phyllis, it's good to see you again. And,
Thank you.
I guess books, Paula, have been a big part of your life since you were very young.
Since I can remember. Actually, you and I were talking about this last week, and talking about memories with Mom, and one of my favorite memories with my mom, and this will date me, is when my mom used to rake our shag carpet in our living room. And we were never allowed to get on that carpet after she would rake it until it was time to read books before we went to bed. So I was always super excited about reading books at night because I could get on the carpet that had just been raked. So my favorite book, and I had one original favorite book that was called Amy's Long Night. Remember the dog?
Oh, yeah.
He was so funny. But then my mom graduated to reading chapter books, which I thought was just, I was big now. So I brought a copy of Heidi. This is actually my daughter's copy. When she was younger, then I passed on the tradition and read her Heidi. But she was my favorite story, and I remember you reading it all the time, almost every night, I think, for probably just like any kid. Mom, read that book again. So you read it, and that was my favorite memory. One thing we kind of wanted to talk about was how reading and spelling kind of played into your childhood. And
Oh, well, I was labeled as a child a slow learner. Always, our reading group would get marched out of the room in front of the whole class to go to special reading places. So I guess as a slow learner, maybe by the time I've got to be a great grandmother, I might be catching up.
Definitely.
But I can remember I've loved reading and I love pictures, but I can remember even starting out, because you're my first child, first is always special, starting out even reading to you before you were even born. Somebody told me you could hear.
I think I must have, because I didn't get to selling books by accident, I don't think.
So we're very pleased.
Yes.
Very pleased.
Phyllis, you've had such an interesting life. You're a teacher, an artist, and now computers, I think?
Well, I actually got into the computers only because they were a good art tool.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always kind of bragged about my mom and the fact that coming from being labeled special needs to then going on and graduating from college and teaching at the college level art has always just been amazing to me. So I feel like it's important for parents to know that even if you feel like you can't read that well, you're still reading with your child, and they still are going to absolutely love it no matter what, even if you have to tell them how to pronounce manure.
Am I supposed to tell that story?
Yes. Yes.
We were just reading along in a book, and I come to this word, and of course pronunciation was difficult, so I went with what I thought it was, and then you finally tell me what the word really was. It is manure.
I don't even want to know how I knew what that word was.
Well, they were
As
going
the farmer here.
yeah. Oh, I know a lot about manure, let me tell you. We have some wonderful books about Mom.
And speaking of moms, I absolutely love that picture of your mother, Bill.
Some people say that we bear such a striking resemblance to each other. I don't get it, really.
I don't see it either, but
I want to say thank you to all the teachers and our customers. This month being Teacher Appreciation Month, we have an offer of a free Books by the Bushel coffee mug for every order over $50 And that brings us to our other nice little advantage of today's program. As I said at the beginning, we have another autographed book to give away to a lucky winner this month. This is Big Hugs, Little Hugs, and it is the latest delightful book by Felicia Bond. You may remember one of Felicia's most famous books, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, which is a delightful, delightful book. Well, if you like that, you're going to love Big Hugs, Little Hugs. And we'll place on our vlog here where you can enter for that book. Well, that's about all the time that we have for today. I want to thank my special guests, Paula Darnell and her mother, Mrs. Phyllis Grom, for joining me. And that will do it for Books with Bill. And remember, read a book today.